who do you sell it to? You as a person have something to sell now. Who are you selling it to? This is more crucial than people think.
I'm all ears. Who should we sell to?
So this is your niche. This is your niche. So if you are saying whatever service you pick, you're saying, I'm selling a website, I'm selling marketing service, selling whatever it is, copywriting, software development, whatever it is, you have a lot of competitors in the space. So we need to think about what sets us apart, what makes us unique. I mean, if we would draw this to make it a little bit more visible, you have a lot of competitors, right? A lot of people who are selling the same thing. I'm gonna make a very interesting point here. This is what we want, that this red person is you in the crowd of all kind of businesses and services and whatever. The way to do that is to pick a service. That's the first thing. And not just a service. High value problems, like solving big problems, means also that we need to look at who are the ones that are able to afford that. So we have the service, we have the niche. And the niche is the start with the problem. We have identified the problem. Just like this brother in the example that we've used with the brother who was doing sports and fitness and all of that, it's not necessarily a high value skill. Not necessarily. Yeah. But you can turn it into a high value skill when you solve this problem for high net worth. Like
when you niche it down, it's always called a niche. When you focus it, when you laser focus your skill on a very specific type of people. He is not just a fitness coach. He's not someone who knows about nutrition. He's a fitness coach for high net worth entrepreneurs. So that's very specific. If I'm a high net worth entrepreneur, I don't want to go to any fitness coach. I want to go to this specific fitness coach that's going to help me as a high net worth entrepreneur. And I can pay. I don't mind.
Yeah, exactly. And this will take you from being a general professional into becoming an expert of your field. So niche equals being an expert. That is important. Yeah, so just like this brother in the gym who was like specializing in high level individuals, meaning like entrepreneurs who have a big problem with money, turns this general skill into like professional to be an expert. What we did, like I said, I started in the very, very beginning as like this creative guy designing websites. When it comes down to selling a service, for example, with me selling websites in the beginning, a website in and of itself is not just a website and you can put one price tag on it. The niche, the part that we're talking about right over here, sets the tone in all aspects. Like you have a lot of people selling websites. There are two mistakes that people are making, and there are three ways. And the third one is that we're going to zoom in today. Let's start off with the mistakes that people are making. So if I would sell a service, like for example, web design, how we started. I started off with searching my clients on Fiverr, on these platforms and all these kinds of things. I mean, we as Muslims don't even consider working on Fiverr because it's like on the boycott list heavily. So, but you can work on platforms. Okay, let's call it like that. Platforms.
Freelancing platforms. Yeah, you can put your job post on, etc.
Yeah. So platforms. But I think we all know, we probably have heard about Fiverr, Upwork, and all these kinds of things, that a website there is maybe maximum worth $50.
All right, real quick, I just want to tell you something very important. Over the years, many of you have come to me and said, look, I want to make hijrah, I want to memorize Quran, I want to do all these things that please Allah, but I'm financially stuck. Abu Lahya, how can you help them?
Yeah, actually this Sunday at 7 p.m. I'm posting a masterclass that I spent over 50 hours preparing, where I share exactly how I've done it, how they can do it too. There's over 2,000 Muslims that already use this method along Barak, and I'm sharing everything for completely free. It's at 7 p.m. UK time or 2 p.m. Eastern time, and it's live. Like literally, you can speak in the chat.
You can get the link below.
Yeah, they can click the link below,
check
the slots, and register your spot. It's very important that they show up live because it's a live training.
If you're lucky.
It's
such a commodity, so many people doing it.
Because there is so many competitors, other people who can do it, people from all over the world who are able to deliver this skill, all right? This is not the right thing to do. The next thing is you can say, hey, I'm selling websites and I'm just helping everyone, okay? So everyone. But this is still you being in a crowd full of people who can also make a website. I mean, probably the potential client that you're trying to reach out to has a nephew or a brother or an uncle that
AI can do
it. Or whatever, you know? So it maybe is setting you a little bit apart from these huge platforms, but still, I mean, maximum, and this is what I did in the beginning. I mean, I stopped with this platform as soon as possible. Didn't work for me, but I was selling websites for $500. The first website that I sold was for $500. It's 10x your potential. It's a good step, but it's still not the way to go. We want to solve big problems and help high level individuals with solving this problem. So the only thing you should do is niche down. What does this mean? It means that I'm selling a website. I'm selling this general website, which is fundamentally like whatever service. I mean, this is just an example of us delivering the websites back then. But fundamentally, this is just a website. But what you're doing is you're looking at the problem. You're looking at this specific person. We were making websites for car rentals. A car rental who needs a website needs different things on the website than whatever, like a gym or whatever, so restaurant. They needed booking systems. So maybe we can make it even another color. They needed booking systems, like specific booking systems to make sure that you could book that car on a specific time and make the transaction and all of that. They needed an overview of all the cars and filter them, filter these cars in the right way. And so there are a lot of things that you are building and adding on upon that website that makes it more unique. Let's look at from the perspective of this person, of the person with the problem. They could go to Fiverr. They could go to these platforms and all of that. They would have a lot of people who can make a website very cheap. Why not do that? Because it doesn't have these features. It's like just a guy who doesn't understand their niche, doesn't understand what's going on. So you will have a general website which is not fulfilling your problem. It's not fulfilling the need of this person. So let's go back to the next step. It's like selling a website to everyone. Right now you have like access to this person. It's maybe a little bit better than via those platforms and all of that, but it's still, you're part of general. Like this is what we did. First website that we sold in the beginning was just for like I think it was like for a gym. Then we did it for a restaurant. Then we did it for a gardener. Then we did it for this. And every time they were like, oh, but I need this feature. I need that feature. And constantly you need to learn. This person with that big problem also understands that if you are not specialized in that, even though you're selling to everyone, you're not the one. You're not the expert. You're a professional who understands a little bit about websites, but you're not the expert. So this is the way to go.
And actually, I'll add a point on this. A lot of people, when they want to niche down, they're a bit afraid. They think they should reach out to the mass market because, not everyone will want to buy their thing. So they should reach out to as many people as possible to then, end up, at least landing one client. They think the more people they reach out to, the more chances they have to close a deal. And this is actually wrong. And I have a very simple drawing for you to understand why niching down is actually the way to get more clients than if you sell to the mass market. So it's going to be very simple. It's a funnel that goes very, very narrow. It goes very broad to then very narrow. It starts with everyone. So here, you're selling to everybody. If you have a pulse and a credit card, you can be my client. You're meaning and shooting in the desert hoping to land onto something, right? So this is very bad. Now you have the next level. Let's say you're doing, okay, I'll do websites for service-based businesses, right? He did the same thing. He tried, for example, when he was doing, restaurants and this and that, it was still too broad, right? So then what he did was narrowing it down again, going down the levels. Now he did car rentals. Okay. Now if you come to me and let's take the offer. Later on, we'll talk about sales and specifically how to get offers done. But hypothetically, let's say he's going to pitch me a website. If he's pitching it in a way where he's providing it for everyone, he has to go in so many details and how it's gonna be so weird for him to convince me because he can do it for everyone. He's not really an expert. He looks like someone who's trying to sell me something. He looks like in this equation, he is the one winning. Let's take an example. Hypothetically, you're selling again websites. We'll give other examples with other service-based businesses, but let's take the website one for consistency. Let's say you're selling your website to everyone. You're pitching it to everyone. Realistically, you'll just look like a very hungry sales guy who's just trying to make money and people would sense that. And they would sense that you're just trying to yourself win and not really provide value to your clients and get them to win as well. Let's say now you go to service-based businesses. You narrow it down a little bit, but you still looks like, an average professional. You know what you're talking about, but you're not different than anyone else. Now, when you start niching down to the third level, let's say this one is broad market. So it's broad and it's level 1. Let's say now you're doing, you're selling websites to service-based businesses. You're niching down. You now have a niche. I provide this for service-based businesses. You're just one level into niching down. Now, the more you niche down, the more into sub-niches you'd get. So part of service-based businesses are restaurants, are car rental companies, cleaning companies, and you're gonna pick the one that fits you the most, depending on the skill set that you have, the things that you can help people with, and then you'll have your sub-niche. When you start getting into sub-niches is where you start to look like an expert.
So you can dive deeper. Sub.
Yeah. And now the issue you can have, just like you mentioned, is if you start going too crazy and you start going, for example, to luxury rentals, it might still work. You might still make money, etc. Now, if you start going to level 25 and then you're doing luxury car rentals that are in my neighborhood, that speak this language, that do this, that do that, you're going to end up tapping out your market and not actually having enough people to reach out to close deals. So the advice I give you for people to have it and have a tactical way of, finding your right niche, stay between level 3 and level 4. So imagine any type of service that you want to sell, go to the broadest possible. I can sell to everyone. No, that's too much. That's level 1. Okay, let's see who I can provide this to. It could be the same, like fitness. Okay, I could sell fitness to everyone. Not really. Okay, I can niche down one step. Okay, only work with men. That's fine. Now, still, it's a bit too vague. I'll only work with men who are over 30. I'll only work with men who are Muslim. Okay, now you've got the sweet spot. And later on, I advise you to go one last step. If you really want to make sure you close a deal very quickly, you can go one level down. Again, it could be I only work with Muslim over 30 that are entrepreneurs. And if you go deeper than down, it'll be harder for you to find clients. And usually in business, how things work, you niche down when you start like this in the beginning, and you niche up when you want to scale your business once you had clients already. If you look, for example, at Amazon, they started by just selling books. So they went super down the rabbit hole. And then later on, they started selling more things. Then they started selling other people's things. Now they're doing everything. You can literally have software. Everything is on Amazon because they started by niching down and then went up. So really, I'm telling you, if you're a beginner, you need to find your level 3 to level 4 specific niche with a specific service that you're going to provide. And later on, when you scale and you tapped out your market, you can then niche back up and provide your services to more people.
So it's actually just looking at the sweet spot, and that's somewhere like in between, and that's where the money is, like basically.
Right. That's where most of the money is.
In the niches, there's the money.